Hey everybody, this is Michael Johnson, and I just got done with my visualizations for the morning, and I thought, man, this is a subject I need to share with everybody. So, let's jump in. Hi, my name is Michael Johnson, and I'm part of a motivated group of people who are dedicated to attaining emotional mastery and unlocking our full potential. We don't believe others are responsible for how we feel. In fact, we don't believe anyone can make us feel anything. Emotional mastery is our journey, and unlocking our true potential is the key. We are Magic for Life, and this is your weekly Magic. Okay, everybody, I just got done with my visualizations, and I thought, man, you know what? This is such an important topic that I needed to do a podcast on it, so I thought I'd jump on and talk to you a little bit about it. A lot of people think that doing visualizations is a bunch of mumbo jumbo. Honestly, it's not. It's a great thing. I mean, it's been proven over and over and over again that these things can change your life forever. So let me tell you a quick story. There was a POW that was captured in the Vietnam War. And right before he was captured, he went and started to play golf. And of course, like most people, when they take up golf, they don't do very well. So he was shooting up in the high, 110s, 120s, something like that. And just wasn't really making much progress. But he didn't get a whole lot of time to play prior to the event. So the thing is that when you go in and start visualizing, it changes everything. Well, when he got captured, they put him in a little box and, with a little cage over the top, just not tall enough for him to even stand up. So one of the things he did to keep himself sane was to be able to play a round of golf in his head every day. And as I understand the story goes, he played 2 or 3 rounds of golf every day, and he'd visualize it. He'd see himself hitting the shot. He'd see himself making changes to his swing, and he would see himself doing what he needed to do to improve his game. And in order to do that, he would go through and he'd see the course and he'd see himself swinging the club. And if the shot went off or went a different direction, he'd change it and adjust his shot, and he'd work on his swing and he'd work on the things that were the most important to him. So he would go in every day and work on that. Now, when he got back, he actually got rescued and brought back. He went out to play. And of course, just like you could possibly imagine, his game got better. So what happened? Well, he went through and he was seeing what he was doing in his head so vividly, and the improvement took place. Now, here's the kicker. The brain doesn't really understand the difference between imagination and reality. And that's a very interesting subject and a very interesting topic, but I want you to think about it just a little bit. The brain really doesn't understand the difference between your imagination and reality. So how does that work? Well, the mind is living it, and it's seeing it, and it's experiencing it. The mind is the computer that runs your emotional states. It runs your body. It runs all your autonomic functions, and it continues to run and process things even when your conscious mind isn't awake. So sometimes if you think about something, or if you've been having a hard time trying to come up with a solution to a problem or to something you've been doing at work, or maybe just trying to come up with a creative idea, sometimes if you go to bed thinking about it, we've all had that experience where we either wake up in the middle of the night or the next morning we're getting ready, and all of a sudden the answer pops into our head. And you're like, yeah, that's it. That's totally it. That's exactly what I was needing. And so you struggle to write it down. I know I've been in the shower when that's happened, and you're trying to write it on the steamed up windows and trying to remember it as best you can so that when you get out of the shower, you can actually write it down. This is huge. This idea of visualization is huge, and it's such a key to unlocking some of your potential in your mind. You want to be able to get in and practice it, but you've got to give the brain some practice, for sure. It's just like using your body to work out. You work out, you go every other day, and you switch up the days. Some days you do legs, sometimes you do core, sometimes you do a combination of the two, or arms, and you isolate and go through and work on those muscles. But as you work on those muscles, they get stronger, they get better. Everything starts to work out a little bit more, and your body starts to adapt. And as it adapts, you go into heavier weights, or you go into a different regimen so that you can continue to train your body. For some reason, somewhere along the way, we've forgotten about this visualization thing. And being able to train your mind to be able to work like that, it just takes practice. So you can do this every day. There's all sorts of things you can visualize. And as you visualize them, the more they actually start to come to life in your mind, and the more they get clearer. Somebody told me years ago, I don't visualize. I'm much more auditory and I'm much more kinesthetic, but I just don't do very good at visualization. Well, the thing is that it's okay if you don't visualize. It's okay if in your mind you don't have a clear picture, but you should practice. It's a skill. You can see. You have the ability to see these things in your mind. And I once heard that it's okay if you don't visualize specifically. Maybe it's about compiling the feelings inside. Maybe it's about compiling the sounds that you hear and combining the sounds and the kinesthetic feelings and maybe a little bit of the visualization so that you can actually get a picture of what it is that's going to take place or what you want to occur. One of the best things to visualize, of course, is future goals. And so if you haven't written down your goals, this is a little bit challenging. But if you've written down your goals, then what you can do is you can start to see those things. Now, the best way to do it is to see them as they've already come true. So if you were setting out to get that raise, you see yourself getting the raise, and you feel yourself getting the raise, and you hear the sounds maybe of people congratulating you, or of that boss telling you, hey, we're going to give you a raise, and doing what you're doing. And as you do that, your brain starts to find ways to complete the puzzle. It's funny because the mind is so powerful, and it will do what it can do to be able to solve these riddles or these puzzles that you put into the mind. And sometimes the goals that we set out, those things are riddles, they're puzzles. There's something that is trying to that we're trying to attain and we're trying to get. But the best thing about it is that we can actually go in ahead of time and visualize it. Now, the fun part about it is we also want to feel it too. And so when we talk about visualization, it's supposed to be the entire package. So even if you're not strong at visualizing, maybe it's about feeling, but there's not a really great word to say, go and visualize this. That's a little strange, right? So we say visualization, and it's supposed to encompass all of the things. We're supposed to feel it. We're supposed to see it. We're supposed to hear it. And we want to go in and recreate that situation in your head. Now, some of you out there might be saying, but it hasn't happened yet. How can I create something that hasn't happened? Well, you know what? Imagine it. Use your imagination, be creative, see it, hear it, feel it as if it's already happened. And sure enough, the mind and the body and the soul will all work together to start to create that and find the solutions to the challenges that lie in between you and that goal. Now, the nice part is that we oftentimes say the universe, and for some of you that believe, the good Lord above will actually work together to be able to help you to create these goals that you want in your life. They always say, be careful what you ask for, because some of those things that you ask for are going to come true. Those things are going to happen because you start to create them in your head. And I know that sounds crazy. So if you haven't done this before, if it hasn't happened to you before, I'm telling you, you've got to try it. You got to start working on it, and you've got to start feeling it. That's so important. It's so important that you get in and you start to feel it, and you start to actually experience what it would be like to have this goal come true. Now, the great part about it is that because we're human and because we have this ability to feel anything, anytime we want, you can go into your mind, close your eyes for just a minute, and you can feel exactly what it felt like The last time you went on that great vacation, that special moment. Maybe it was when you got married. Maybe it was when you had your first child. Maybe it was your first win in some type of competition. But you can feel that stuff. If you go back in and you think about it and you really put that picture together, you can feel it again. Well, what's the difference? What's the difference between feeling it again and feeling it right now? I challenge you to go in and do that. Think of an experience. Well, gosh, if we can think of an experience in the past and feel that way right now, why not think of an experience moving forward? Why not think of something in the future that hasn't happened yet, but you'd like to be able to start to create it in your mind? And as you create it in your mind, the world around you will start to adapt and start to work towards you creating it. So I highly, highly recommend you getting in and starting to do your visualizations. It can be about anything. Heck, even if you went in and started to do your visualizations on things you were grateful for, that's a great place to start. Gratitude is such an important element of the overall whole that if you can spend a little bit of time working on visualization of your things that you are grateful for. I always use a little thing that I start with the people closest to me and I visualize why I'm grateful for them. And I say things like, I appreciate my daughter because of this, or I appreciate my son because of this. I appreciate my family because of this. Or I'm so grateful for this, or I'm so grateful for that. And I try to see it in my head and feel it in my soul. And these things make such a huge difference on your day. If you could do it every day, I guarantee you, your day will be different. Your day will change, and as each day changes, each week will start to change, and it'll be much more fulfilled. You will love it. Everything will start to get more clear in your mind, and you'll start to live a much happier life. And that is really what it's all about, right? I mean, we are after happiness. And so that's important that you start to put some focus into that. Anyway, this was my message for you today. I wanted you to think about visualization, and I wanted you to think about starting to do it every day. If you have some great lofty goals that you've set up, let's start to look at those. Let's start to imagine those things coming true. Let's start to put some focus into it in our mind and in our heart and our soul, in our bodies. Everything will start to come together for you, and you'll start to move towards that end goal. So, get out there, start doing some visualization, set aside some time, maybe a little bit in the morning, and you can do it. It'll start to make some great changes for you. Anyway, Michael Johnson, Magic for Life. We'll talk to you soon. Are you loving Magic for Life? Please like and share our podcast on iTunes or wherever you listen to your podcasts. Want more magic for your life? Join me for some great Facebook Lives on the official Facebook page at Michael A. Johnson Official.